few weeks ago, I made a video about the Great Replacement Theory that's hawked by white supremacists these days, and how it's persisted in part thanks to Nazis at the Pioneer Fund who have been promoting eugenics since before the Holocaust. And I explained how all of that connected in part to Douglas Murray, whose book, The Strange Death of Europe, Immigration, Identity, Islam, has been called, quote, an attenuated version of the Great Replacement Theory for the Telegraph reading classes, and gentrified xenophobia by reviewers at The Guardian, and a great description of what's happening right now in Hungary by that nation's far-right authoritarian, maybe dictator, Viktor Orban. Murray's latest book, The War on the West, has been called Devoid of Reason or Evidence by Adam Rutherford and Utterly Superb by Richard Dawkins. So, yeah, I guess you could say he's pretty divisive, at least between, like, normal people and people who are super into eugenics for some reason. After that last video, I was happy to put Douglas Murray in my rearview mirror, but I regret to inform you that he is like the liquid metal Terminator guy, and I can't just drive away because he will chase after me and then turn his arms into hook things and grab onto the car. By which I mean, someone sent me a link to this article Murray wrote over on The Spectator, which is a conservative UK magazine owned by the same guy who owns The Telegraph, in which he pontificates upon the idea that monkeypox happened because someone fucked a monkey. So I guess I have to talk about that now, because that's what I do. I critically evaluate neo-Nazi conspiracy theories about how monkeypox comes from monkey sex. We have fun, don't we? First of all, let's talk about monkeypox and what it is. Monkeypox is a virus related to the smallpox virus. It has a similar but less severe effect, so flu-like symptoms and a distinctive rash. It was first discovered in lab monkeys in 1958. That's why we call it monkeypox. However, scientists quickly realized that it infects a wide variety of animals in the wild, not just primates, but also squirrels and rats. They're not sure where its natural home is, its natural reservoir, but it probably prefers to infect some type of rodent. It also, of course, infects humans, as scientists discovered in 1970 when they found it in a baby in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Secondary transmission, like a human spreading it to another human, is relatively rare, or at least it was back then. You know, in the 1980s, researchers found that monkeypox was poorly adapted for sustained transmission between humans. Usually what happens is a human contracts monkeypox by handling or eating an infected animal. And then the human gets infected, but then they go and get treated and the infection ends there. But sometimes there are outbreaks where monkeypox seems to spread more easily between people, like what happened in Nigeria in 2017 when it was suspected that 228 cases suddenly appeared. More on that in a minute, but the basic idea of those cases is that monkeypox was spreading through skin-on-skin contact. The rarity of human-to-human transmission is what makes this current outbreak so interesting and a little concerning for experts, because suddenly there are more than 200 cases spread out around the world in countries outside of Western and Central Africa where the disease is usually found. And those cases don't all connect to just one traveler or one shipment of animals from that area. That means that there may be a higher rate of spread than we currently know, which means that it might be able to get out of control before we have a chance to contain it or to at least vaccinate everyone. The smallpox vaccine has some positive effect on monkeypox, and there's also a much more effective specific monkeypox vaccine that, if we needed to, we could start pumping out in bulk. But, okay, all of that is just boring background facts. Let's get back to Douglas Murray and how he thinks that, quote, the problem with us humans as a species is that someone always shags a monkey. Yes, that's it. If I had to pick one issue that we humans experience as a species, I would go right past abject bigotry, disregard for how our actions impact our planet, baseless superstition. All of that pales in comparison to the problem of people fucking monkeys. Sure, why not? To put it out there, monkeypox did not come from a person fucking a monkey. We know this in part because of common sense. If most human cases come from contact with infected animals, we can guess that hundreds or even thousands of people every year aren't fucking monkeys. They probably aren't even coming into contact with monkeys. They come into contact with rats and squirrels and things. And they're not fucking those animals either, to be clear. They're touching them. They're getting scratched by them. They're eating them. I know it's comforting for people like Douglas Murray to imagine that the only way they're at risk is if they do something that they would never want to do, like fuck a monkey. But the scary reality is that our normal everyday human society, the way we have built that society, can produce and spread dangerous diseases just by eating meat. That'll do it. The last time I heard this much talk about monkey fucking was back in the late 80s, early 90s, when it was a commonly shared conspiracy theory about HIV and AIDS. In fact, HIV probably did jump to humans from chimpanzees, but not from sex. Again, it was probably due to humans hunting, cooking, and eating infected chimps. But joking or speculating about monkey sex accomplishes several things. It's racist and xenophobic in that it mocks Africans for committing barbaric and deviant sexual acts, which is probably why research found this conspiracy theory to be most prevalent amongst white people. And also it further mocks and humiliates gay men who were most at risk for contracting the disease via sexual activity. Because it then ties gay men to that barbaric and deviant sexual act of fucking a monkey. It's a match made in bigot heaven. So it's interesting that Douglas Murray, who is gay, not only invokes the guy fucking a monkey conspiracy theory in his article, but he then goes on to suggest that monkeypox may be a sexually transmitted disease, and he brands a World Health Organization proclamation as outrage at a lack of inclusivity for stating that monkeypox is not a gay disease. So let's talk about that, I guess. This current outbreak has shown up more often, but by no means exclusively, in men who are gay or bisexual, which leads people like Murray to either insinuate or outright announce that monkeypox is the new HIV. It's the new gay disease. It is not. Murray writes, a study into a 2017 outbreak of monkeypox in Nigeria said that it could be sexually transmitted. So maybe we're here again, as we were with AIDS, though hopefully with a far less serious virus. Also, by the way, are we just not capitalizing AIDS anymore? Do the editors at The Spectator not know it's an acronym? Whatever. I looked up the study, which Murray fails to cite, but I do think I found it. The 2017 human monkeypox outbreak in Nigeria, report of outbreak experience and response in the Niger Delta University Teaching Hospital, Bayelsa State, Nigeria. Published in 2019 and available in full for free online at PLOS ONE. The paper describes the outbreak as well as the fears and behaviors of patients and their families and healthcare workers in the hope of providing guidance to prevent or alleviate future outbreaks. Like our current outbreak, the 2017 incident was notable because of an increased rate of human-to-human transmission. Since 1988, scientists have been warning that monkeypox outbreaks would increase over time in severity and that the disease would become more and more transmissible. So this 2019 paper is just another in a long line of studies breaking that down and warning that we need to take this seriously and learn how to deal with it. The big question has been how in these epidemics, how are the monkeypox spreading from human to human? The researchers do write, although the role of sexual transmission of human monkeypox is not established, sexual transmission is plausible in some of these patients through close skin-to-skin contact during sexual intercourse or by transmission via genital secretions. The role of genital secretions in transmission of human monkeypox, however, deserves further studies. Many experts are stating outright that monkeypox is not, in fact, a sexually transmitted disease. So, what is the mismatch happening here? It's complicated. Sexually transmitted disease is a bit of a vague term. It's a term that we generally use to describe any disease that is primarily spread via sex, which is why you might think immediately of things like HIV/AIDS or chlamydia or genital herpes. You can contract HIV through a blood transfusion, but that's very rare, especially compared to how often it can be spread via sex. So we consider it an STD. However, sexually transmitted disease can also apply to diseases that can be spread via sex, even if that's not the primary cause. For instance, Zika virus is technically an STD. Most people contract it through mosquito bites, but it can also be spread through sexual fluids. So wearing a condom can limit the spread. Monkeypox spreads from human to human in a few known ways. Through droplets, through contact with clothing or bedding that an infected person has been in and rubbed their wounds on. And it can be spread through skin-to-skin contact, even if that's not contact with lesions. But it's not currently known for sure if the virus can infect a healthy person through seminal or vaginal fluids. Of course, we don't think of COVID as an STD because it doesn't infect you via semen. But if you have had a marathon sex session with someone who has the Rona, there's a good chance that you're going to get it, even if you wear a condom, assuming nobody's vaccinated, blah, blah. Because sex usually involves a lot of saliva swapping and breathing on each other and, just being in the same room together for an extended period of time. Like at least 30 seconds. Am I right, fellas? Anyway, that's why many experts are rushing to point out that monkeypox is not a known STD. It would be bad if people think that they're safe so long as they don't have sex with someone with an active monkeypox infection. Or, they'll be safe if they have sex with that person, but they wear a condom. It would be even worse if someone who actually knows they have a monkeypox infection thinks that they can interact with people like normal so long as they don't have sex with anyone. That's how you get an epidemic. So why is this outbreak mostly affecting gay and bisexual men? There are at least two good explanations that don't require sexual transmission. First, that cohort may actually be more proactive at presenting at medical clinics with a strange infection that they don't understand, meaning that there might be over-reporting in that community. The other even more likely scenario is in that last word I used, community. Diseases that spread via skin-to-skin contact are more likely to spread around close-knit communities and families. An airborne virus like measles can transmit easily between people who simply pass one another on the street and have nothing else in common. But diseases that spread via close contact are more likely to travel around groups of people who know each other well, who interact with each other regularly, and who have sex with each other. There's no evidence to suggest any reason why being a gay man would otherwise make a person more susceptible to monkeypox. And so just like the reason why it's important for people to not think of monkeypox as an STD, it's equally important that people not think of it as a gay disease. Straight people aren't safe just because of who they love or choose to have sex with. And they need to be just as careful as everyone else. Labeling it a gay disease, also thanks in large part to our society's ongoing marginalization of the LGBTQ community, would do nothing more than increase stigma amongst patients and medical staff, leading to fewer people seeking treatment and more people being discriminated against if they do seek treatment. Like, well, I guess you got this disease because of your disgusting, deviant lifestyle. You deserve it. That's the end result of this kind of misinformation. So to wrap up, allow me to state definitively that no, monkeypox does not come from a man fucking a monkey, just like chickenpox doesn't come from a man fucking a chicken, and cowpox doesn't come from a man fucking a cow, and basic compassion for gay men doesn't come from a man fucking another man, as Douglas Murray makes abundantly clear.